everyone. We're going to get started. Thank you for joining us for the Leyard LED MultiTouch Reseller Training Webinar. My name is Ashley Lyon, and I'm the Marketing Communications Specialist for Leyard and Planar. Today we're going to give you an overview of our new award-winning Leyard LED MultiTouch, the industry's first seamless interactive LED video wall. In the next 60 minutes, you will learn not only why you should sell, but also how to sell this exciting new product line. We will close with your questions and answers from our product marketing team. And now I'd like to introduce our feature presenter for today, Romeo Estores. He's our Leyard and Planar Product Marketing Manager for the Leyard LED MultiTouch. Take it away, Romeo.
Thanks, Ashley, and thanks everybody for taking time out of your day to attend this webinar on Leyard's LED MultiTouch solution. So let's go ahead and get started. But let's take a little bit of a step back before we jump right into the touch solution and really look at why customers are buying LED walls. You know, the reason customers are buying LED video walls is there's quite a few reasons. They adapt well to any size area, not just 16 by 9, saturated colors, great viewing angles, uniform colors, brightness, and really high pixel density and finer pitch are becoming more affordable. So there's a lot of reasons people are buying LED video walls, but probably one of the main ones is LED video walls are seamless. So they provide this nice uninterrupted view of the video or of your image. And you can see our 8K wall that we had shown last year at a couple of trade shows there on the picture on the right. No seams, no bezels. So ever since we introduced LED video walls, we've been asked, can we add touch to it? And it's always been a qualified, you know, yeah, we can, because we can leverage existing video wall touch frame technology, sensor technology into it. So we would use something that the Matrix MultiTouch touch sensor, we could apply that around the LED wall, and you could that would be your starting point for making an LED touch wall. But really what made it much more challenging is getting the surface right for the LED video wall. You can't touch the LEDs directly. The LEDs are pretty fragile. We wouldn't want to damage those. We want to be very careful about what sort of surface we use, because we don't want to introduce those seams into that seamless video wall. You know, LEDs generate heat. We've got to manage the thermal considerations of the LED video wall. We also wanted, when we were looking at it, to be as simple an installation as possible, and then also planning for the future with LED repair strategy for your video wall. So we had to take all of those considerations, all of those factors into consideration when we were designing and planning for our touch solution. So once we did all that, we are introducing the Leyard LED MultiTouch. We like to call this the first standard, meaning it's all from Leyard, completely seamless, interactive, fine-pitch LED video wall. So the key features of our solution, very high performance touch, 32 simultaneous touch points, excellent tactile feel, and anti-static. Visually superior, we maintain those excellent visuals of your LED video wall with the uniform color and brightness. It's an anti-glare surface, and the surface itself does not introduce any parallax error for your touch applications. And finally, it's easy to deploy and maintain. It's a very lightweight, thin, and unobtrusive solution. That lightweight means there's no additional structure or special reinforcement needed, and that really means it simplifies service for your LED video wall. But one of the key things was, again, if you recall back to the previous slide, was finding that right surface for your touch wall. So this means that our solution, LED MultiTouch, features Leyard PLTS. That stands for Pliable LED Touch Surface, which was a specially formulated touch material that we made specifically for this application. So if we dive a little bit deeper into PLTS, this is we like to call this the special ingredient of Leyard LED MultiTouch. Again, this was specially formulated by Leyard for LED video walls. The key features of this is it's seamless. So for video walls that are 1.3 meters high or 53 inches tall, you can go N wide, basically, and it would remain a seamless look. The surface itself is extremely lightweight. It offers very high performance touch. Again, by putting that surface over the top of the LEDs, we still maintain excellent visual performance, and it's extremely important, of course, as you know, for touch applications to be durable and serviceable. So we're introducing LED multi-touch in 3 models based on 3 diagonal inches. We'll have a 108-inch diagonal, 151, and 196. The total solution is made up of the multi-touch frame. That's a 32-point IR touch frame, and then the trim and material around it. So that's about 3.16 inches wide, 4.6 inches deep once it's installed around your video wall. And then in addition to the touch frame is the PLTS, which is the touch surface. And this will be integrated first with Leyard TWA 1.2 in those 3 configurations. So the 108-inch diagonal translates to a 2x2 TWA 1.2 wall. 151 inches is a 3x2 TWA wall, and 196-inch diagonal is a 4x2 TWA 1.2 wall. So we took this 4x2 196-inch diagonal wall to NAB, and this is the first. We launched the solution at NAB, and you can see how big the wall is here up at the top left, and then it allows for multiple users all at once. We had 3 going at the same time in this particular session, but over the course of the 3.5 days that we had the touch wall at NAB, you know, we had many users at the same time, all occupied at the wall. So it really did very well at NAB. So, you know, one of the key features, again, that we've talked about for PLTS is it's a lightweight design. So if we take that 196-inch diagonal wall that we just saw as an example, if we were to cover that with an equivalent glass solution, which is typically how LED walls have been made into touch walls up until now, to cover a 196-inch diagonal wall with glass would require at least 2 panels of glass. Each panel of glass would weigh about 62.5 pounds or 28 kilograms. Multiply that 2, that's about 125 pounds. The PLTS service, you know, it's just 1 sheet at about 1.25 pounds, so very lightweight. Well, that's interesting, but really what's the impact of adding 125 pounds to your wall? Well, you can imagine that with adding over 100 pounds means you've got to plan for additional support structure, and special mounting would be required for that solution. But then also the infrastructure or the logistics of it would be have to be taken into consideration. The shipping and handling does become a concern. These panes of glass ship in very large crates, and they sometimes require special airframes for air shipment if indeed those are available. Leyard MultiTouch offers high-performance touch. You know, it's the PLTS has a smooth, tactile feel. Anti-static, of course. We don't want anybody walking up to the wall and getting shocked. Accurate and precise 32 points of simultaneous touch. And if you are familiar with our Matrix multi-touch solution, this is the same IR touch sensor that we're using. But most importantly is, again, no seams to disrupt that motion. So over that 196-inch diagonal wall, there's no seams across it. You could swipe all the way across and not be disrupted. So it really makes for a nice interactive touch experience. Maintaining those high-performance visuals was extremely important as well. So Leyard PLTS is applied directly to the video wall surface. There's no gap. So without the air gap, that means there's no parallax error introduced. The material itself has very low specular reflectance, so there's no mirror-like, or very little mirror-like reflectance off of the surface. And in our testing, we've seen that PLTS improves the luminance and color shift at shallow viewing angles. So we've also improved the visual performance at certain angles with PLTS. And finally, it's really durable and easy to maintain. It's easily cleaned with a non-ammonia-based cleaner. You just spray it directly into a soft cloth like a microfiber and wipe off the surface. It diffuses heat, so there's no heat trapped under the surface. It lets the heat out, so it doesn't impact pixel lifetime. And then it's easily removed for servicing. So we would remove the sheet, service your pixels or replace modules, and then apply a new sheet. And then also want to mention that, of course, we've tested this extensively at 100% brightness, full bright, and we have seen no loss of adhesion. So we haven't seen the surface starting to slough off over time. When we remove the film, there's no residual material left behind. And then most importantly, when we remove the film, there's no LEDs damaged during film removal. And you know, this is part of what we were looking at when we were trying to find and design this special surface for LED touch. You know, finding that right combination of surface and adhesive and making sure that pixels weren't damaged at all, either through trapped heat or when servicing and pulling pixels out. Of course, those would be no-goes right from the start for the surface. Okay, so let's again dive a little bit deeper when we compare it to glass, which again is the typical solution right now. So thinking back to the 196-inch diagonal LED video wall, that requires 2 panes of glass at 125 pounds total. In addition to the structural support and the shipping concerns, those 2 panes of glass introduce seams over the video wall, and you can't put the glass directly over the pixels. You have to maintain about a 1 to 2 millimeter gap, air gap, between the pixels and the glass to allow for heat dissipation. And that introduces parallax error and really doesn't make for a nice touch experience. With PLTS over the 196-inch diagonal, it's a single sheet. Weight is only about 1.25 pounds, so that means there's no additional support or shipping concerns. Seamless look with a single PLTS sheet. It's applied directly onto the pixels, so the air gap is removed, and the material also easily dissipates heat. So the air gap removes parallax error, and pixel lifetime is not affected by applying PLTS directly to the LEDs. So taking a look at some of the other features and benefits of multi-touch, Leyard LED multi-touch versus aftermarket glass. LED multi-touch, Leyard LED multi-touch is a single vendor solution. It's one integrated solution designed for Leyard LED video walls. It's the thickness is, it's a very thin solution. So again, no parallax error for touch, and that decreases the weight. It diffuses heat well when compared to glass. Heat's not trapped, which would impact the LED lifetime. Tactile feel is really good. So when you have a chance to visit us at InfoComm would be the next opportunity, and you have a chance to feel it, you'll find that it has a really nice feel for intuitive touch versus some glass solutions. I would put those in the mid-range. You know, depending on the glass that you choose, it could have a good touch solution, or possibly maybe too smooth or too much friction on there. So it does depend on the glass solution you choose. Both PLTS and glass are very durable, so we can withstand extensive usage. Again, we launched the product at NAB, and we had hundreds, if not thousands, of people stop by the booth using it all at once. And you can imagine that there were varying levels of users knowing how to touch a video wall. So there were some, let's say, rough users with it, and it still was held up extremely well over the 3.5 to 4 days. Impact resistance. This is where PLTS would be about mid-range. So if you're familiar with Matrix Multi-Touch and our Aero glass, that is truly meant for impact resistance. Keep in mind that, again, because of the thin PLTS, there's still LEDs under there, so it's really not meant to stop impacts. We have tested it. You can go up and tap it. We've hit it with pens, things like that, and it will withstand those impacts, but really this is not something that we're talking about as an impact resistance surface. Specular reflectance, so mirror-like reflectance is avoided. That's definitely an advantage of PLTS versus glass. Both surfaces are easily cleaned. Ease of shipping, again, is really the green check in terms of PLTS. Weight, not only the shipping, but it's easily handled, and it doesn't require additional structure. And then last but certainly not least is the seamless look. There's no distracting seams at all with PLTS over your video wall. Okay. So the schedule and availability for LED multi-touch, we're offering this first on TWA 1.2 in the 3 models. That's the 108-inch diagonal, or TWA 1.2 in a 2x2 configuration, 151-inch diagonal in 3x2 configuration, or 196-inch diagonal in a 4x2 configuration. So you can see the part numbers here. Those are loaded up and available for quoting now. Pricing is loaded and available on the price list, which is on the reseller portal, and we will be shipping in Q3. So having said that, being able to ship in Q3, I do want to set expectations right up front with you in terms of the installation timeline. So we don't want to set the expectations with customers that the touch wall would be up and running at day 1 with the video wall installation. What happens on day 1 is the wall is installed, and then depending on the mount that's chosen, we may install the bottom bracket for the touch frame. We would start to install the infrastructure for the touch sensor, meaning the cables and the power. And then if the customer desired, we could install the touch trim around it for the aesthetics. But the touch solution itself isn't fully installed until after the LED settling period, which is about 60 to 90 days after day 1. So this allows for, this is when we do our follow-up visit to replace any pixels that need replacing, really getting that wall into the best looking condition we can get it into. That's when we apply the PLTS, test and install the touch sensor and frame. That's day 1 of the follow-up visit. Then we run the wall overnight at full brightness. That allows the PLTS to warm up, and then we can smooth it out. We get all the wrinkles and air pockets out of the PLTS, and then we'll do the Z-axis adjustments after that. So it's about a 2-day installation process that happens 60 to 90 days after the initial video wall installation. And then, of course, since we're doing that 60 to 90 days later, the area around the video wall should be kept clear for the installation of the multi-touch solution, or be available to be cleared out so that we can install the PLTS and the touch frame finally 60 to 90 days later. We, of course, have marketing collateral for you to download. So if you go to leyard.com/LED multi-touch, all one word, we have spec sheets on all the different sizes. We have a new multi-touch brochure that is available, and the updated line card with the multi-touch section there, and of course the supporting LED products underneath it. Again, we're shipping this on TWA with the first iteration. And you can next see the LED multi-touch solution alive at InfoComm. That's in Orlando, June 14th through 16th. We'll be at booth 3200. And if you pass the free registration code to your customers, PLA 770, they can come play with the video wall while we have it there at our booth. Okay. So that's Leyard LED multi-touch. Why don't we open up the floor for questions, please? I'm going to stop sharing and go ahead and hit the chat button, and let's see if there's some questions coming in.
We have one.
The question was, how did the NAB unit get built and shipped, not installed on site? No, it was installed on site. We installed, we built the 4x2 TWA wall on site, installed the PLTS and the touch frame. So we built it enough time before NAB to make sure that we were able to do the PLTS smoothing process before NAB. Can you please elaborate on the settling period? Is the touch overlay usable during the settling period? No, so the settling period is really the time for where we do the initial LED video wall installation, so your TWA wall would get installed, and during that 60 to 90 days you can use the wall, of course, as a display and video wall. But the PLTS solution would not get installed until after the 60 to 90 days. Because what happens at that 60 to 90 day mark is that's the follow-up visit where we would replace any pixels that need to be replaced and really get the wall looking good. So PLTS wouldn't be part of the initial day one install. That would happen 60 to 90 days later. Pricing is available on the 3 models. It's on the price list, but the 108-inch diagonal touch frame MSRP is $29,315. The 151-inch diagonal touch solution is $40,985 MSRP, and the 196-inch diagonal solution is $53,200 for the touch solution. And again, that's all in the price list that's available on Portal as well. Is the 2-panel high a limitation of the size or the PLTS roll? That's a great question. It's really, right now, a limitation of the height of the PLTS roll, because that way we can go too high on the TWA and maintain that seamless look. We are investigating further if we go higher. Say, let's go to a 3x3 configuration, which would also be a very popular configuration. We're looking at ways that we could apply PLTS to minimize or really have no seams. But in order to get that, to maintain that seamless look on this first offering, we decided to go with a too high solution. That's a great question. Thank you.
Okay. We hope that you found our presentation helpful and that you have a better understanding of Leyard's LED interactive video wall solution and are prepared to sell Leyard LED MultiTouch. If you'd like to rewatch the webinar, we will be sending you a link to the recording session at the beginning of next week, and also it will be available on the Planar Leyard Partner Portal. If you have any questions you want to take offline, please email questions to sales@leyardgroup.com. On behalf of Leyard and Planar, we thank you again for your time today and your continued sales and support of our products. Have a great day.